Hello and welcome to Prairie Pulse. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll hear from the band Clearwater Hot Club from Grand Rapids, Minnesota. But first, joining me now is John Peterson. And John is an engineer at Prairie Public Broadcasting. John, thanks for joining us today.
You bet.
Well, we've asked you here today to talk about, to sort of continue the discussion of the 50th anniversary of Prairie Public Broadcasting. And we already talked with, Bill Thomas and Bob Dambeck, but we want to talk about the technology part of it. That's why we've asked you here today. But as we get started, tell the folks a little bit about yourself and your background, where you're originally from.
Well, I'm from Bagley, Minnesota, and I went to school in Moorhead, got my degree there, and I've been working at Prairie Public since 1986.
So how did you end up at Prairie Public?
I needed a job.
Well,
and I've stayed ever since. So.
Well, now you stayed ever since, so it must be a good place to work. I don't know. John, tell the folks about the early years of Prairie Public. What kind of equipment would we have had working back in the 60s, I guess?
Well, not a lot of equipment. When they first went on the air, they had the transmitter, got them on the air. I think they had one camera and a tape machine and a film projector. They didn't have much. So over the years, they added.
Well, with that said, what have been some of the big changes, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s?
Well, the biggest change that I've seen, and I brought a picture of our master control from 1986, and when I started, there was really only one computer in that room, and now there's about 13 computers in that room. So that's a big change.
Now, this picture is from?
That's from 1986.
Okay.
Next picture I wanted to show is a picture of a 2-inch machine, and the tape, a 2-inch tape machine. This is the tape and the size. Over the years, technology developed better tape machines, and they went to a smaller tape. And then each technology changed down to 3/4 inch. And eventually, we get down to a tape this size, and as we went along, now we're down to putting our information on hard drives and in a digital tape format.
Well, yeah, so obviously technology has advanced tremendously. You talked about everything seems to be smaller and smaller, and I think people are aware with that. But would everybody have been able to get the signal or not? Can you talk about that?
Well, when Prairie Public first went on the air in '64, they did it from a transmitter located in South Fargo on a pretty short tower. So the coverage area was just the Fargo-Moorhead area, maybe as far as Valley City, Wahpeton. It was a struggle to get to Detroit Lakes. Fergus Falls was iffy. And as the years went by, of course, we added transmitters, and the transmitter in Fargo was upgraded to make it a bigger coverage area. I think it was in 1973 that the Channel 2 transmitter was added.
Channel 2 transmitter
serving Grand Forks and the Devil's Lake area. Mm-hmm. And then I believe 79, 80, 81, 82, the transmitters in western North Dakota were added. So by 1986, we had added all of the transmitters, and we covered the entire state of North Dakota. But in '64, it was a pretty small area.
Okay. And, how would local shows have been edited back in those early days?
That's a good question. Unfortunately, I wasn't here to see it, but if I understood it right, of course, they had to record it on a tape this size, and they had no easy way to edit that tape, so they actually did it mechanically. They would sprinkle some magnetic powder on there so they knew exactly where to cut the tape, and they would slice it, and then they'd actually tape it together. And that's how they would actually edit an early show on one of those tapes.
And I don't know if people can't feel this, but this is a heavy, and this is a 2-inch tape, not even the biggest reel that's out there.
Right.
For what's magnetic tape.
Yep, this was a half hour worth of programming. You can imagine the 2-hour tapes you had to lift with 2 hands.
So, and we talk about early pledge drives, and what kinds of cameras and microphones and equipment did they use?
Well, again, in the early '60s, I believe they just started out with one camera. They didn't really have a studio at their studio location in South Fargo. They had a room, but it wasn't much of a studio. So the early pledge drives were held up at NDSU. And I don't know the first year they had a pledge drive, but it was sometime in the 60s. There was, some a grant program came along in the mid to late 60s that helped a lot of public TV stations with getting equipment. It still was difficult because of the price of the equipment, and there was a station down in Minneapolis that actually donated some equipment to Prairie Public. And so those old pedestals, camera pedestals is what they donated, were still used by us up until, well, not all that long ago. So it was not easy.
Well, so, you told us about the early years, but now, when did Prairie Public eventually go what we call a tapeless environment? All of this tapes has sort of disappeared now.
Well, as we've evolved into the 90s and the 2000s now with the digital formats that I talked about, the next step, of course, is to put it into a computer and onto a hard drive. And that's something that we've recently done. And so all of our programming is stored and played back basically like a big computer. We've got over 100 terabytes of storage for all of our programs. This tapeless environment is nice, except for when you don't have the connection, the connectivity to that, and you need to move things about. It's still nice to have the digital information on a physical media that you can stick in your pocket and take it wherever you want.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about, so you said in '86 most of the transmitters were done, but so what kind of coverage area does Prairie Public have right now?
Well, the analog coverage in '86, like I said, was all of North Dakota, parts of Montana, northwestern Minnesota. We even got into Canada and northern South Dakota. One of the big things that happened in the mid-'70s was the cable system in Winnipeg was able to pick up our Channel 2 that was covering Grand Forks. They were able to pick that up and put it on the Winnipeg cable system. As that first pledge drive, all of a sudden they started getting all these phone calls from Canada, and that helped us out. Obviously, the population of Winnipeg is quite large.
Well, with that said, and now you're talking about with all of that coverage area and, of course, the infrastructure of having that many transmitters out there, what kind of challenges does the engineering department have in maintaining that and taking care of that?
The technology that we have is good, but it does take some maintenance, and it's spread across the entire state from Williston, Grand Forks, Dickinson, Fargo. And so we have engineers based in Bismarck and engineers here in Fargo, but they end up putting on a lot of windshield time getting to and from the transmitter sites. And our interconnection system also has to be maintained.
And when you say interconnection system, what does that mean?
We have microwave radio relay sites that takes our signal from Fargo to Grand Forks, out to Bismarck, and then out to Minot, out to Williston, and out to Dickinson. And so we have hundreds of miles of microwave radio relays. We have actually 25 different sites out there spread across the state.
So what happens when a transmitter goes down and reception is lost, and
Normally, if a transmitter goes down, obviously there's two main causes. The transmitter itself failed, or more likely is there's been a power failure. If we're not back on the air within a few hours, then usually there's something more drastically wrong. But once the transmitter goes down, an engineer gets dispatched to that site. We can monitor all of our transmitters from here, so we know if it's a power outage or if it's an actual problem with the transmitter.
John, I know one of the biggest changes probably since you've been here was when television was mandated to make the high definition switch, or the digital switch, started 10 or 12 years ago. Can you talk about how Prairie Public was involved and actually a leader in this area?
We were one of the first to go digital with our Bismarck transmitter, and we worked with the CBS affiliate out in Bismarck, and we actually co-located at our site and shared an antenna for quite a while with them. They've since moved back to their original transmitter site. That was back in '99 we started that project, and I think we were on the air early 2000s. And then from there we've obviously had to do the rest of our transmitters.
We'll talk about some of the difficulties of converting all those towers to high definition, the work and the cost involved.
Right. The big problem was, of course, we had to stay on the air with our analog signal and add the digital on. And of course the towers are only built to handle so many antennas, and so a lot of the towers had to be upgraded because a TV transmitting antenna can weigh anywhere from 2 to 12,000 pounds. They're very large and heavy, and so we spent about, on average, almost $1 million per site with adding another transmitter for the digital channel, adding an antenna, adding line, upgrading the towers. So about $1 million per transmitter, and we did eight transmitters out there, so that was a lot of money. And then, in addition to that, of course, a digital transmitter doesn't do you any good if you're just feeding it your old analog signal. So of course we had to upgrade our infrastructure for digital, including the microwave radio relay system. And so for that, for each transmitter, we spent probably another $750,000 just getting the signal to it. And so you can see the numbers start to add up, and we spent, I'm sure, be close to $14 million just getting the digital signal on across the state of North Dakota.
Yeah, you hadn't even talked about studio cameras and...
Right, and then the cameras that you're looking at us with right now, those costs are immense. You're talking $100,000 a camera. And then our facility, our infrastructure to handle the high definition programming, to store it and to play it out, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
In your opinion, has high definition television improved consumer viewing?
Oh, immensely. You know, the big thing with digital is that we went widescreen, and then we also added the high definition. With the wide screen, you get obviously more view of what is taking place, like with concerts or sports and things like that. The other thing is the expression on people's faces. And a good example of that for local programming is the Concordia Christmas concert or the St. Olaf concert that was done. You can see the expressions on all of the students as they're singing. It's amazing. To me, that's, you know, just so, it's 4 times the picture information. And, you know, obviously if you can see details, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words. If you can see those details, it makes a big difference.
So what is the future of technology in television, and what are some of the things maybe Prairie Public's working on?
Well, one of the things I think is interesting is they're already talking about Ultra HD. They talk about the switch from, you know, analog to HD digital was about 4 times the picture information. Well, Ultra HD is another 4 times the amount of information as HD. And to really take advantage of that in the home viewing arena, you need a pretty large screen there, probably 65 inches or bigger. And then the difficulty, of course, is it's 4 times the amount of information, and that's a lot to deliver to a home. But as we move to the future, and there are ways to compress that information and get it to the viewer, whether it be through the transmitter or through other means, such as our YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, we're going to get over to that, but I want a follow-up there, because CES, Consumer Electronics, recently had a meeting. you and other engineers go to NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters, and are always studying and looking at the new technologies.
Yes. Yeah.
And how important is it to keep up with all that?
Well, it's very important, especially over the past 15 years. Technology changes fast, and if you buy something today, you're almost guaranteed it'll be obsolete in a year. But the trick is to try to find the technologies that aren't, obsolete quite so quick. You can spend a lot of money being obsoleted quickly.
Yeah. Well, and you alluded to our YouTube channel. Can you talk about how putting some of our shows on the YouTube has actually benefited Prairie Public?
It has. You talk about video on demand, and a lot of people lead busy lives, and they can't watch a program at 7 o'clock on Friday night or 8 o'clock on Friday night. And so having the ability to put it on YouTube and get it out to our consumers that way has been good. We've been putting the videos on in HD, and so depending on how the viewer watches it, they can see it in HD even on YouTube.
Yeah, you talk about. I'm just sitting here staring at. You've got tubes, and of course tubes are sort of a thing of the past, right?
We haven't had any equipment here with tubes. About the time I started is about the time most of the tubes were gone. But the technology, here we've got a transistor, and that was the next step. And we still have some equipment running that has transistors in it, not much, but a few things. Yeah. And then of course the IC, the integrated circuit. And then the next step, of course, you can see on the back of this hard drive are the ICs that are even what they call large scale.
Okay. Well, they're showing it there.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
And so the technology there has changed, and obviously from the technician's standpoint, keeping up with the technology has been difficult.
John, what kinds of questions do you sort of handle from the public on a weekly basis?
Well, most of them are reception questions. I still take probably one a week on reception questions. For a while there, it was probably 2 or 3 a day. When we made the conversion from analog to digital, there was a couple-year period there where I probably took over 1,000 calls in about a 18-month period, and it was kind of hectic. But I think we've got most people converted over and happy with their reception. There's still people that call occasionally if they're dropping their cable and want to pick us up over the air. And then there's people that move and have difficulties getting it, or things go wrong and they can't figure out what's going on. Feel free to give me a call. I'm here, and I can answer questions. I can't guarantee I can solve every problem, but I'll sure try.
Yeah. Some people have talked about cableization, Netflix, and things like this sort of being the death of TV. But with broadcast TV, it's still going to be around for a number of years.
Quite a while. For us to transmit an HD signal, and it can be received anywhere in North Dakota, Montana, or parts of Montana and Minnesota, that's something that you can't necessarily get through the internet because some people don't have good internet connections, or you're having to pay a lot of money for that internet connection.
Yeah. Well, John, we're running out of time, but if people want more information, where can they go?
You can go to our website, or if you've got some technical questions, give me a call, 1-800-359-6900. I'm at extension 503.
There you go. Thanks, John, for joining us today. Stay tuned for more. The Clearwater Hot Club from northern Minnesota is a band dedicated to gypsy swing and traditional jazz music. Their strong Eastern European influences include traditional folk and tamburitsa music. Sit back and enjoy the unique sounds of the Clearwater Hot Club.
Hello, my name is Sam Miltich, and I am the band leader of the Clearwater Hot Club. Our group is based out of Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and our group plays a style of music that is known as gypsy jazz, which was pioneered by the great gypsy guitarist Django Reinhardt and French violinist Stefan Grappelli. And gypsy jazz can be described as essentially swing music that is played on string instruments as opposed to horns. And it was originally conceived in Paris in the 1930s and 40s. The original Hot Club of France was based in France, and essentially what it was a group of jazz aficionados that got together as a group of people in a club that collected records, because it was not easy to get jazz records in Europe. When Django Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli heard this hot jazz being played by Americans, they decided to try and play this, but instead of playing on horns, they played with string instruments, violin and guitar.
Well, that's all we have on Prairie Pulse for this week, and as always, thanks for watching.
Funding for Minnesota Legacy programs are provided by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, and by the members of Prairie Public.